My name is Kriss and I'm a local business owner here in Manchester, and I'm the wife of a wonderful man named Mark. I have 3 children of my own, and I'm here today because my stepdaughter Amber died of a heroin overdose a year ago. You know, when I met her, I thought, oh boy, I'm in for it. She was a very bright, vibrant, eclectic character. Hard to contain, always on an adventure, had a mission for dog rescue. Nothing for her to get in a car and go cross-country collecting stray dogs all the way down to Georgia, but call because the car broke down and she needed some way to get home. But she lived a little bit on the wild side. She'd disappear for a while, and the question was always, where's Amber? You know, and then she'd reappear. And every time she reappeared, there would be a little bit more distance in her spirit. She would never admit to her addiction. She would never admit that she was using, but it was clear based on some of her behaviors and the erraticness of her life and the ungroundedness of her lifestyle that something was going on. And you know, sure enough, it wasn't long before we realized that drugs were running the show in her life. I remember her sitting at the dinner table at a holiday, nodding off in the middle of dinner, like her face going into the plate. And when she would come to afterwards, I'd say to her, you know, you're high. You know, no, I'm not. I'm just tired. I said, you don't just nod off and put your face in a plate at dinner. And she said, I wasn't doing that. And I said, I hope you're not using in this house. And she'd say, I would never do that to you. But the disease made her lie, because even after her passing, that we found. We would have conversations, you know, like when the phone would ring, we'd wonder, what is that, you know? And it was only about 3 weeks before she died that my husband looked at Amber and said, Amber, you're going to die. The last 2 years of her using were a real roller coaster in our family. You know, they say if truly someone's addicted, it ends up in jails, institutions, or death. And this would be her story. Five stays at Valley Street Jail, all drug related. You know, in the end, Amber was selling her body to feed her habit. And knowing this, you know, we would drive around the city all hours of the night seeing if we can find her. You know, she was sleeping under bridges. And you know what she'd say was, I'm with my people. I want to be with my people. You know, and her loss, like, it's kind of like, it was hard to live with her, and it's hard to live without her. So we brought her to 12-step recovery meetings. We attempted to get her into a few different treatment programs, but there were no beds available. We were successful because she was suicidal at one point. This was just a few months before she actually passed, in getting her into Portsmouth, where she stayed for a week and actually had a successful medical detox. When she came out, she agreed to move into our house, and on the 3rd night she ran away and left us a note that she needed to go back to her people. Her body was found in an alley off Elm Street, the same alley that 3 days prior to, on Easter Sunday, we dropped her off at. I miss her spirit. It's just like Amber to leave a legacy, and I feel as though she's asked me to tell her story. And that would be my advice to families, you know, whether they're suffering with an addicted child or they've lost a child to addiction, is to stay in the stream of life, because life is a gift.